Did you know that driving under the influence of marijuana is illegal? Driving high will get you a DUI. And if you're wondering if law enforcement can tell you're driving high, well, everyone else can. Friends?
I can tell you drove high.
Parents?
I can tell when you drive high.
Relatives?
I can tell. You drove here high, didn't you?
So what makes you think law enforcement can't?
I can tell.
If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
Looking for the ultimate game night? Chumba Casino brings all the fun and excitement of a night out straight to your screen whenever you want it. Play hundreds of thrilling games instantly. No downloads, no delays. Just launch from your browser and dive right in. From spinning slots and playing blackjack to instant scratch-tile cards or joining live social tables, there's always something new to explore. Signing up takes just seconds and you'll unlock a free welcome bonus plus daily login bonuses to keep the fun going every time you play. Play for pure entertainment or for a chance to score some serious prizes anytime, anywhere. And here's the best part. No purchase required to join or play. So what are you waiting for? Make tonight one to remember. Head to ChumbaCasino.com and bring the fun home. Let's Chumba. Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
Did you know Microsoft has officially ended support for Windows 10? Upgrade to Windows 11 with an LG Gram laptop. Voted PC Mag's Reader's Choice Top Laptop Brand for 2025. Thin and ultra lightweight, the LG Gram keeps you productive anywhere. And Windows 11 gives you access to free security updates and ongoing feature upgrades. Visit lgusa.com/iHeart for great seasonal savings on LG Gram laptops with Windows 11. PC Mag Reader's Choice used with permission. All rights reserved.
Looking for these better days.
It is Wednesday, December 31st, New Year's Eve. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's what you need to know to make today a better day. The Nuggets get good news on Nikola Jokic as he avoids a serious injury, but they'll still be without the MVP candidate for about a month. The college football playoffs resume tonight with one quarterfinal matchup, and the rest will be played coming up tomorrow. Programming alert. We will do a college football playoff preview pod later on today, and that will be streamed live on our Better Day Premium Telegram channel. Mackenzie Rivers joins me on this episode of Better Day, presented by FanDuel. Mac, let's go into the NBA first, where the Nuggets get the best case scenario, which is that Nikola Jokic has a hyperextended knee, and he is only going to miss a few weeks, maybe a month or so, but it is not a tear. The ligaments are intact, and he will return this season.
Yes, he will return in 4 weeks, and if you have Nuggets to win the championship odds, or if you want to pick up some, I think plus 750 is a fine bet. I think they're the only other team outside of the Rockets and the Thunder that can win it this year. And he's going to be back. He's going to be back for the playoff run. There's no reason to think a hyperextension is going to linger. It's not anything structural. It's not an ACL. If you have MVP tickets, tear him up. It's very unlikely, seemingly, that he will not miss more than the 17 games allotted to him to still be on the ballot. And that's why we see Shai Gilgeous-Alexander minus 400 and Jokic off the board. Luka, by the way, second favorite.
Yeah, Jokic, I was going to mention, completely off the board because of the idea that he will not meet the threshold in order to qualify for this award. So SGA is now minus 425 here on FanDuel to be the most valuable player. Luka, you mentioned the second favorite at plus 430. You got Victor Wembanyama 75-1, Jalen Brunson 75-1. We'll see those two go at it here tonight. But any value on the long shots, or is this SGA's award to lose?
I think it's SGA's award to lose. There might be some modicum of value on minus 425 at FanDuel because we never give it to the sixth seed. One time we did, and we regret it. There's not one MVP that's more regretted outside of maybe Derrick Rose's sometimes, but Russell Westbrook was the sixth seed. The team wasn't great, but he had a triple-double average for the first time since Oscar Robertson. We gave him the MVP. Very rarely does that fly in the MVP voting. You have to be a one seed. And you know I'm down on the Lakers. I think their scoring margin of about 1 point better than an average team is closer to where they are than the 19-2 record they started out the season or whatever. So I don't think they're going to be a 1 or 2 seed. So I don't see Luka winning it, despite how awesome he's been. He could be the better player than SGA, but that's not what we're voting on.
All right. Well, in terms of the championship odds, so we'll take a look at how it has affected the Jokic injury has affected the championship odds. The Nuggets are still the second favorite, but now it is 10-1. So the Thunder are even money up on FanDuel to win the title. Nuggets are 10-1. Knicks 11-1. Spurs 12-1. Then you got the Rockets at 15-1. Cavs 16-1. If we're doing a power rankings right now, with the injury baked in, where do you have the Denver Nuggets? Because it's not just Jokic. They're also without Cam Johnson is out for a little bit of while, right?
Yeah, Aaron Gordon hasn't been there. So they take a hit. They are currently a average team. 0 is my power rating for them, which actually has them ranked 18th, but that's just the way the numbers shake out. I have Jokic worth 6.5 points to the line. Historically, you hear people talk about Michael Jordan being worth 6. Am I saying Jokic is worth more than Michael Jordan? Is he better than Michael Jordan? He is to the Nikola Jokic Nuggets. He is to this team the way that they've built it. It's similar to the NFL, where it's just we want to see the best players with the ball in their hands making decisions, and the rules and the tendencies have all favored that decision maker, and more important than ever. Maybe not better than ever, but the best player on the team is more important than ever. No one exemplifies that more than the Nuggets. It was a tied game essentially at half against the Heat, and they lost by 25. Half because he was not there and his production wasn't there, and half because the team was devastated without him.
So if we're looking at now, the whole league is dealing with injuries, right? Every team is dealing with injuries. Trae Young's day to day, even though there's that report that they're going to look to move on from him anyway. So who knows what to expect here from the Atlanta Hawks moving forward. But all around the league, you have injuries galore. Josh Giddey, it was just announced he's going to be out for a while after suffering a hamstring injury. So he's going to miss some time here for the Chicago Bulls. Anthony Davis is still, dealing with his lingering issues. He's on, he's off. Yep. Kyrie's timetable is nowhere to be found. Everyone's dealing with injuries, Mackenzie. That being said, as presently constituted right now, who is the second best team in the NBA? Because, we acknowledge it's the Oklahoma City Thunder as the best team. So as presently constituted, injuries added into the equation, who is the second best team in the NBA right now?
It's got to be the Houston Rockets. And I know their standings is whatever. They're bobbing and weaving with 5th and 6th. But on paper, I wouldn't even have to make the argument. Just 10 points per game using cleaning the glass net ratings, 3rd on offense, tied for 5th on defense. But I actually think they're better than that because they were a team that didn't have an offense. They had a defensive identity, but they had the idea of Kevin Durant is good. We need offense. Let's see what happens. Since then, Reed Shepherd has been a revelation. We know Sengun was good. He turned out to maybe be great offensively. He might be a top 20. He's definitely a top 20 offensive player right now as we speak. And we haven't even talked about, maybe the best scoring forward of all time. So this team could beat the Thunder. The Thunder have a way to win by margin more than any team in NBA history, but I don't think they're the best team in NBA history. I think they're gettable. You would have to do it on both sides of the ball, and that's what the Rockets present.
All right, well, let's take a look at this schedule of games that we have here today on New Year's Eve. We do have one marquee matchup on the schedule, and that is the New York Knicks at the San Antonio Spurs. Right now up on FanDuel, Mackenzie, the Spurs, a 1-point favorite with a total of 238.5. How do you break down this matchup?
So standard 2-point home field advantage. This says the Spurs are only a point worse than the Knicks. I have a little bit bigger gap than that. I think this is a little bit of recency bias. Spurs obviously the big wins over the Thunder. Obviously they blew the lead against the Knicks in the Cup final. But I have it as a 2.5-point difference. I would make the Knicks light favorites here.
So would you go with the Knicks here on the road? You think it's a good play?
I feel like I missed my opportunity. A lot of the steam I feel like was with the Cleveland game. I felt like the Spurs were kind of smelling themselves a little bit and were ripe to be got. But with that loss with Cleveland, I think they bounce back here at home.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's a schedule that starts early in the day. There's a 1 o'clock Eastern time game where the Charlotte Hornets will host the Golden State Warriors. Warriors 7-point road favorites in Charlotte. We know Steph, hometown. Does he ball out here in Charlotte?
Curry historically 25 points per game in 17 games in Charlotte. Nothing to see here. I mean, that's generally his career average. Efficiency pretty standard. But I do like the Warriors here. I think Curry's as good as ever on New Year's Eve on a holiday on this hometown. Going to have a lot of love in the building. And my model loves the Warriors offense to get on track here versus the Hornets. Terrible defensive team that themselves have been lucking out in a few recent affairs. We faded them with Milwaukee Bucks, and we're going to fade them with Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors.
All right. We'll have more NBA, of course, coming up throughout the course of the week. It is a busy week in sports. Obviously, college football playoff, New Year's Eve tonight, and then New Year's Day bowl games, and, of course, the Winter Classic coming up on Friday. But, yeah, we will keep an eye on all of the NBA action as the season is really getting going now, Mackenzie. Right. As we kick it into high gear with the calendar switching to 2026. I wanted to run through the NHL schedule because we do have day games, including a 1:30 Eastern time puck drop in D.C., where the Capitals host the New York Rangers. Currently up on FanDuel right now, Washington a -156 favorite, low total of 5.5. And this is something that we looked at historically, Mackenzie, with these early start times where you would think that the early start time means that the game goes under, like we always talk about in the NBA. We always talk about in all sports where it's been
football,
like the body clock. It's just a different time or whatever. But actually, if you look at the early start times, and we're talking about games that start, I guess, like 12:30 or 1:30 1:30 Eastern time or later. Actually, this is a 12:30 puck drop. So this is even earlier start time. My goodness. So a 12:30 start time.
I feel like you're going to tell me, but this is not the case in hockey.
It's 5-5 this year. The 12:30 or earlier start times, right? To the totals.
There's been 10 of them. Okay.
There's been 10 of them this year, right? But if we go for since 2021, it's 40, 37, and 2 to the over.
Slightly over.
Yeah.
I mean, what we know about early start time and the circadian rhythm is that it disrupts the body clock. It's easy to make the connection. Well, if you're shooting and you need to be precise, any disruption is going to make it so it's harder to shoot. So it's bad for basketball and hockey. I don't know. What do you think?
Like, of hockey, it's all about rest. So as long as you're not playing the night before, like, your legs are going to be fine, right? I don't think the body clock is affected because these players do morning skates all the time. Right? So think about day of the game. Like there is a morning skate. So they're used to getting up and getting on the ice early. That maybe they're just going through the rhythm and going through the flow of things, but there's always a morning skate. Sometimes teams cancel the morning skate, right? Depending on like their schedules. But like waking up and getting to the rink is not something that is like new for them. To actually play a game at 12:30 or 1 o'clock is not that strange. When the total is 5.5, by the way, with these 12:30 Eastern time or earlier start times, since 2021, we are 16-13 to the over. 16-13 to the over. Again, this is the total of 5.5, which is what we have here between the Rangers and the Capitals. We have an afternoon matinee here in Vegas between the Golden Knights and the Predators. VGK hosting this game. This will be a noon Pacific time puck drop, and Vegas is a -220 favorite, and once again, low total of 5.5. So I kind of think I want to play some overs here with these early games, just being a little contradictory towards these games. Towards these I guess the idea, right? The mental image of the early games going under. I might just want to fade that and go, if it's 5.5, it just feels like it's too low.
I think it could be worth 20 cents, where people are just used to betting these unders. Pros are so used to coming in on holidays and betting unders in early start times. It might just not apply to this sport, and we might have some value there.
We also have two teams that are playing today with no rest. That is the Devils at the Blue Jackets and the Flyers at the Flames. So 2 games to keep an eye on with teams playing on no rest. Currently, it is the New Jersey Devils who are it's minus 110 both ways. So the Devils were a slight favorite, but no, at FanDuel it's a minus 110 both ways. And for the Flames, who are on the second of the back-to-back, as I mentioned, playing with no rest, the Flyers are on the no rest. Calgary is a minus 146 home favorite here up on FanDuel against the Flyers. So something to keep an eye on with those situations. We know that playing on no rest is like the worst situation you can be in. This year, you are 43% straight up playing on no rest. Doesn't matter if you're home or away. 81 and 106 straight up playing on no rest. All right, we got college football, and we have the final regular season trench report. We'll give you some of the details here coming up.
Did you know Microsoft has officially ended support for Windows 10? Upgrade to Windows 11 with an LG Gram laptop. Voted PC Mag's Reader's Choice Top Laptop Brand for 2025. Thin and ultra lightweight, the LG Gram keeps you productive anywhere. And Windows 11 gives you access to free security updates and ongoing feature upgrades. Visit lgusa.com/iHeart for great seasonal savings on LG Gram laptops with Windows 11. PC Mag Reader's Choice used with permission. All rights reserved.
The college football playoff will resume tonight as we have the first of the quarterfinal games here on New Year's Eve, Mackenzie. It'll be the Miami Hurricanes taking on the defending national champions, the Ohio State University. It is the Cotton Bowl, where Ohio State is a 9.5-point favorite and a total of 41. It's a low total here in this game. Pretty significant news that Ryan Day, the head coach of Ohio State, is taking over the play calling responsibilities because their offensive coordinator, Brian Hartline, moved on to take the head coaching job at South Florida. So Ryan Day is a very prominent play caller in his past. We'll see if there's any adjustment for Julian Sayin, the freshman quarterback, with a new signal caller in his ear. And for Miami, can their defense replicate what they had against Texas A&M in their first-round game? We will have a full college football playoff preview pod going up later on today. So we're not going to make you wait till tomorrow because there is a game tonight. We will have that pod coming up later on today. AJ Hoffman will record it for us. We will be doing a live stream for Better Day Premium members. So you guys that are Better Day Premium members, we are going to do this at 12:30 Eastern time this afternoon. And so you guys can join us, interact with us, ask your questions. AJ and I will do a full college football playoff preview pod later on today. We do have other bowl games today. Iowa will take on Vanderbilt, where Vanderbilt is a 5.5-point favorite in this bowl game coming up today. And there's so much talk about Vanderbilt and Diego Pavia and what, his Heisman candidacy and the celebrity tour that he did. I feel like that's a reason, Mackenzie, that I want to fade them here in this game. This is the ReliaQuest Bowl, by the way, in Tampa. How much has Diego Pavia been practicing for the past month? Like, it wouldn't surprise me if the kid gained some weight during the past month in between games here for Vanderbilt. He's going to UFC events. He's traveling all over to go, like he's on TV. He's doing all these things. Like, yeah, he's on Theo Vaughn's podcast. It just feels like he's doing everything but practicing for this game. Then again, it is his final college game. It is his swan song. And there's a lot of people that don't want to bet against Diego Pavia.
It sounds like you want to just bet only against Diego Pavia. Like you want to bet him to throw a pick or something? He sounds a little distracted.
I just like Iowa. I mean, Kirk Ferentz, we know, coaches this game to win. Like, we know it. We know that that the opt-outs they're not going to have a lot of opt-outs there for Iowa. So to me, it's Iowa's a team I want to back. A defensive team. Again, not a lot of opt-outs here. Kirk Ferentz says the roster is pretty much going to be fully intact, and that's about it. Like, Diego Pavia, is that enough to go up against this Iowa defense? 5.5 just feels like a lot here. We got the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl Arizona State taking on Duke, where currently Duke is a 3.5-point favorite. And in that game, it looks like Jeff Sims might start at quarterback, but Cam Dyer is probably going to play for Arizona State. So that's kind of a situation I want nothing to do with. I mean, I don't know. Duke is a team that we haven't trusted all year. They win the ACC championship, preventing Virginia from getting into the playoff. It feels just like a weird game that I honestly want no part of. The next game is going to be very exciting though, because I'm fascinated to see how it plays out. That is the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl between Michigan and Texas. Now, I bet Texas as soon as Sharon Moore got fired because I wanted to fade all of the drama.
Was it in the interim before he got arrested, but after he got fired?
Correct.
In that window? Okay.
Correct.
That's a good bet. That is
because I wanted to fade all of the drama, and I expected a ton of opt-outs for Michigan. A ton of opt-outs for Michigan. However, there's been money coming in on Michigan. This line was 7.5. It's still 7.5 at FanDuel, but it's approaching. It's pretty much 7. So you can get a 7 if you like Texas here.
Where did you get in at when you bet it?
I got it at 7. I got it at 7. Yeah. Before it went up to 7.5. Now it's getting back down to 7. So it's not like I have CLV here on this game, but it looks like Michigan's not going to have as many opt-outs as we thought they would, and it looks like getting, bringing in Kyle Whittingham as their new head coach maybe injects some life in this program, right? Maybe it's the reason why we're not expecting as many opt-outs as we initially thought we were going to get. That being said, what's been the focal point of this team? Do they want to see what they have on their roster for next year? Are they focused on winning this game? For Texas, though, they're going to be without a lot of defenders in this game, a lot of top defenders, but I think their offense shines. I think this is going to be this is step one in Arch Manning's 2026 Heisman campaign. He has a big game here against Michigan. Big game.
Are those odds out yet?
For next year's Heisman?
Yeah, sometimes they post those.
Let's see. Next year's Heisman's. Oh, let's see. Yes, we have. No, not out yet. Okay.
Sometimes
there might be some offshore that has it, but yeah. That and then speaking of Kyle Whittingham leaving Utah and going to coach Michigan, Utah takes on Nebraska in the Las Vegas Bowl, where Utah's a 14-point favorite. Now, no Dylan Raiola, of course, who's hurt for Nebraska, and he's gone anyway, transfer portal. I think their backup quarterback's out as well, so I don't know what they're going to look like here with the quarterback situation. And then for Utah, it's, Devin Dampier, their quarterback, is going to play, which is great, but losing the head coach, what does that do to your program? The fact that their defensive coordinator, Morgan Scalley, is taking over, and he was always the head coach in waiting, I think it provides a boost to the team. I think it's a stability thing, and I think the players rally around him. So I think this could be a spot where Utah makes a statement, and I know it's a heavy line, laying 2 touchdowns here. This feels like a spot where Utah rolls over Nebraska. So I'd actually lay it here. But again, full college football playoff preview coming up later on today. Live stream recording with myself and AJ Hoffman. All right, Mackenzie, it's week 18 of the NFL regular season. Coming up later on this week, I will do a little contract incentive stuff here with some player props. But here's what I'm going to do, though, that's going to be a little bit different than what you're seeing out there. Because everyone's got the list. It's all over the internet. I've seen multiple lists. I'm not just going to tell you about what players need to accomplish certain things in order to hit their incentives. I'm going to tell you what's actionable, meaning what you can bet and what you can't bet.
Better tell us quick.
Well, so I'm not going to tell you oh, well, okay, there's one that I saw out there that was Keenan Allen needs 9 yards to reach a certain
over.
Yeah,
8.5.
exactly. Keenan Allen needs 9 receiving yards to make $250,000. I literally saw a social media post put that out there. Hey, bro, give me over 8.5 yards.
Journalistic information, but it's not something we're going to do anything with.
Bro, you don't want to bet over 8.5 yards?
Minus
for
400.
Keenan Allen?
I would bet minus 400.
I don't know. Trey Lance at quarterback. That's gotta impact it, right?
They might run the wishbone. I'm not sure.
That's gotta impact it. Like, I don't know if he gets there. But yeah. So I'm not gonna tell you about those. Same thing. Like, what was it last week? Last week I bet the Chuba Hubbard over. And like that didn't hit. He came up like 4 yards shy or whatever. Or excuse me, not Chuba, Rico Dowdle. Mm-hmm. Because he came up shy last week, he needs 7 yards to get $500,000. So how about this parlay, bro? Rico Dowdle over 6.5 yards,
right?
And Keenan Allen over 8.5 yards. Let's go.
Neither of those are gonna lose. Like that's a winner right there.
And the best thing is, like, Sam Darnold needs like 3 passing touchdowns to reach a certain contract milestone. Do you think the Seahawks give a shit about Sam Darnold reaching a contract milestone for 3 touchdowns, or do they care about winning the damn game about the against the 49ers to get the 1 seed in the NFC?
If they were playing like the Rams are, a game that Rams could have been playing like against the Cardinals, and like they're probably going to win, but it also matters. They also like have to win. Then maybe they make a decision at the goal line. But this is like doubling your chance to win the Super Bowl if you win this game. It's too big of a deal. They won't think about it for a second.
Exactly. So, no, I will not be betting Sam Darnold to get 3 touchdowns only because of his contract incentive. That is just nonsense talk. So, again, I will send out a list of some contract incentives that are real, like real actionable stuff that we can bet on, not the phony bullshit that is just floating around the internet that we can't bet on, or that the sportsbook is going to tax you significantly on when it comes to some of these players that have been, widely publicized. Let's talk Trench Report, Mackenzie. Week 18 Trench Report is out, as it is each and every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Time for all Better Day Insider and Premium members. Coming up next week for the wild card round of the playoffs, we will have a special Trench Report. Not just
it lives.
Yes, not just the Trench Report matchups for the wild card games, but ranking each team through the Trench Report and comparing it to the futures odds prior to the start of the NFL playoffs. So you will see how each team stacks up in the trenches, how each team stacks up against each other in potential matchups. Thus, maybe we can find the best futures bet to make to win the Super Bowl, or just to win the AFC and win the NFC, purely based off of the Trench Report.
So do you know who the Super Bowl favorite is right now?
On the Trench Report, or just overall?
Overall,
the Super Bowl favorite up on FanDuel. Are we doing we have to do FanDuel? We're doing FanDuel odds.
I have it up. I'm sure it's going to be very similar across the board.
Yeah. Do
you want to take a guess?
I
might have got this wrong, honestly.
Is it? I'm not going to look yet, because I was going to look, but I'm not going to look yet. Is it the Seattle Seahawks?
It is the Seattle Seahawks. They have leapfrogged the Rams, even though we knew the Rams weren't going to be the 1 seed. They had a very low chance.
But the only reason why I say it's the Seahawks is because they are the slight favorite this weekend, right?
Right. And if they get the 1 seed, they'll be significant favorites.
Yes.
But like a couple weeks ago, we knew after the Seahawks won 38-37 in overtime, we knew they were going to be either the 1 seed or that the Rams weren't going to be the 1 seed. Yet the market said Rams plus 450, Seahawks 6-1. Something's changed. The market's kind of changed its mind.
Okay.
Now they're closer together. Maybe the Rams have a harder path and are still considered better, but they're closer together than they were a couple weeks ago.
So here's the real question. If the 49ers win on Saturday and they are the number 1 seed, who's the favorite to win the Super Bowl?
The Denver Broncos?
Yeah, maybe, right? Maybe.
I really don't know. This is a fun year because there's no team that's even plus 200. It's all wide open.
Yep, all wide open. Here are your biggest movers from Week 17 to Week 18. The San Francisco 49ers have had the biggest improvement in offensive line grade from Week 17 to Week 18, which is interesting because Trent Williams left.
Yeah, we should double that upgrade. It's that impressive.
because he didn't play the majority of that game. Your biggest decline in the offensive line, the Detroit Lions. Your biggest improvement on the defensive line is the Minnesota Vikings. And that's the biggest offensive line declines, the Lions. The biggest defensive line improvement, the Vikings. Biggest defensive line decline, Chicago Bears.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stop somebody. 42 points.
Chicago Bears.
Think about it. We spotted them 7 points the first play of the game. So we essentially won that game like 42-31. That's like that's a more dominant performance than you might otherwise if you think about it that way.
For your through 17 weeks, the number one pass blocking offensive line in football is the Denver Broncos.
Incomplete.
The number one run blocking offensive line in football, the Los Angeles Rams.
Blocking, okay, all right.
And still holding strong after all these weeks, the number one pass rush defensive line and the number one run stuff defensive line remains the Cleveland Browns.
Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett, deserves it.
They stay in the mix here.
Can we bet his sack odds? He needs a half to tie it?
Is it a half to tie it? Is that what it is?
I think so. Let me see. The record is 22.5. He has 22. Yep. He needs a half to tie it. One would break it.
Well, those props will come up later on this week when all the props do populate. Full Trend Report, as I mentioned, is available up on BetterDay.com and emailed out to Better Day Insider and Premium members. And yes, starting next week in the playoffs, we will have a special playoff edition of the Trench Report. So if you are not a Better Day Insider or Premium member, just go to our website, BetterDay.com. Click on the the link in the main page and find out how you can elevate your betting game. All right, once again, we will be back for a special college football playoff preview episode. So no new episode on tomorrow, New Year's Day, early in the morning. Instead, that episode's going to be out later on today because we want to preview the first college football playoff game coming up tonight. So that'll take you tonight, and then for the games, obviously, coming up on New Year's Day. And then with the Winter Classic coming up on Friday, we will actually be joined by Kevin Rogers, who helps us out with the NHL and NBA databases up on BetterDay.com. Kevin also does pre- and post-game for the Florida Panthers radio network, so we will talk to him about the Winter Classic, where the Florida Panthers are taking on the New York Rangers, and the game is being played inside the Miami Marlins ballpark, Mackenzie.
Of course.
And
why wouldn't it be?
And it's not a traditional Winter Classic because
it's not in Miami.
It's going to be an 8 p.m. start time. So obviously, a little cooler
it also
at
will
night.
Not be snowing.
Little cooler at night.
Be snowing.
They do have a roof. They can close the roof, right?
and then artificial snowflakes.
Yeah, exactly. So little cooler at night. No sun melting the ice. And obviously they've kept the roof closed, so they don't want the ice to be melted. But Kevin will join us as we preview the Winter Classic. That episode will be released on Friday morning. Right now, Panthers are minus 150 favorite up on FanDuel for that Winter Classic. For Mackenzie Rivers, I'm Scott Seidenberg. We want to wish you a happy, a healthy, and most importantly, a safe New Year's Eve. And we will talk to you next year. It's the best joke ever. I mean, it never gets old, right? You could say it all the time, but this
you can say it once a year, actually.
You could say it once a year. We'll talk to you next year.
Eat your black eyed peas.
Literally tomorrow. Here's hoping you make this year and next year a better day.
Did you know Microsoft has officially ended support for Windows 10? Upgrade to Windows 11 with an LG Gram laptop. Voted PC Mag's Reader's Choice Top Laptop Brand for 2025. Thin and ultra lightweight, the LG Gram keeps you productive anywhere. And Windows 11 gives you access to free security updates and ongoing feature upgrades. Visit lgusa.com/iHeart for great seasonal savings on LG Gram laptops with Windows 11. PC Mag Reader's Choice used with permission. All rights reserved.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening. Happy holidays. Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a happy holiday.